I'm here today with
Leah
and
Vilma.
And my name is Emily, and we are girls at Tech Nordics at PRAO this week. It's been a great week, and we're wrapping it up today, this Friday, with a little podcast to kind of talk about how this week has been. And I have a few questions prepared for you guys. First of all, I'd just like to ask, what did you think of this week? Did you enjoy it?
Well, yes, I thought that it was really fun. It was really interesting. We got to learn about different types of techs. For example, everything from AI and IT to game development, how to make your own video games and how you design and how you make an art. And we got to meet a lot of different fun people. Mm-hmm. And I think that was really interesting to get to learn about all of these different topics and stuff.
And what about you, Vilma? What did you think?
I also found it really interesting, mainly the last one.
Maybe the last one. What was that?
The video game.
Yeah, right. Okay, so going through the week, from Monday then, we came here first and we were presenting the week and what everything would entail. And you met Sakina, who founded an app called Trust Me. Vilma, would you like to explain what you remember from Trust Me?
Yeah, it was an app that would basically make children feel more comfortable talking to their parents. It would alert the parents if they thought something was wrong, if the child had texted someone that they felt overwhelmed. It would, to help. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And you remember why she founded Trust Me and what her goal was in that?
I know she funded it because she was bullied as a child. If she had that app when she was 12, it could have helped her a ton.
When she was younger, she got bullied at school and she couldn't tell her parents about it. She had no one to tell, and she felt really bad about that. And then a while ago, she found out that her 10-year-old daughter was texting someone who was a bit weird, and because she didn't know what to do, and Sakina wanted a way to protect her own daughter and children around the world from predator type people, because it can be really hard to talk about parents. It's making sure that your kids are safe online, and that if something happens IRL or online, then your kids feel comfortable and they tell you when something's wrong.
Yeah.
So you have trust between parent and child, as Vilma said. From Sakina, I learned that there is something that can help. There is an app, and I think I'm actually going to use it when I come back from school. Hey, this and this happened, and so did this. I would say they have my full respect, actually.
Yeah. And you agree, Vilma? Mm-hmm. All right. Well, afterwards on Monday, after Sakina left, Ulrika and I showed you this little video about the 8 innovative technologies of the world. Mm-hmm. There were 8 of them. If we start with you, do you remember? How many do you remember?
I remember AI, AR, VR, blockchain, robots,
drones.
and the last one.
It was also an acronym.
IoT.
Yes.
Yes.
IoT. So those are the 8 technologies, 8 innovative technologies. And then, Leah, which one do you think is the coolest and why? If you had to pick one.
That's so hard.
Yeah.
Because now I just want to break them all down. I don't know, because they're all so unique from each other. Or AR and VR, they're both make you see something that's not actually there. AR is hey, look, you can be walking around around, and or you take a picture of yourself with a filter.
Yeah.
And VR is just you're in a VR, you're somewhere else. But I think that maybe AI, because I feel AI could control all of these different things. But also, I'm a bit torn between that, blockchain, and iOS, because iOS, it's
iOS or IoT?
Yeah, IoT. But it's it was really cool, because on the video we saw, it was this lady had gone to the grocery store.
Yeah.
And she didn't know what to get. But then she got a text message from her fridge on her phone that said, hey, you don't have any tomatoes?
We need ice cream.
We need ice cream!
And Vilma, what do you think? What was most interesting to you out of them?
Probably VR.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the most interesting. It's just the one I like the most. So.
Yeah. But you've tried VR, right? Yeah. Do you remember what you got to do when you tried VR?
Beat Saber.
Oh, yeah. Moving along to Tuesday, you were with Ulrika and Charlene at PlayWellMinds. Would you like to recap quickly what PlayWellMinds is and does?
Yeah, it's an app, basically. You kind of log your day-ish, You say the top 3 best things. And
I've also understood that it's to kind of help teenagers feel positive about their days and goals and stuff that happened. Is that correct? Leia, did we forget anything? Is there anything you'd like to fill us in that we forgot to mention about PlayWellMinds?
It can be used for a lot of different types of people. It's like, you know, when something happens and you can't get over it, no matter how hard you try, and it like weighs you down and it affects your performance at school, in a sport or somewhere. Imagine you're playing football, like you play football, and then during a very important match of like the season, you miss the goal.
Yeah.
And that's going to weigh on you for a very long time. And it's sort of like PlayWellMinds is often like targeted not only but teenagers who play sports and their parents, because you see like how it is in the family, but it's like to help you get over and move on and be able to focus on the future so you're not stuck on the past.
Yeah. What do you think of being there and like seeing and working with this app during the day?
It was fun. They had a really big office.
Thank you, Charlene, for this information.
Way to go, Charlene. And now you got to hang out with me again, which was fun, I think, at least. And would you like to start recapping a little bit of the day? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, we met Tina, who works in PwC, and we got to learn about change management, and she taught us about different AIs. Also, we got to learn about IT from Tina a bit. And then we met Emily, who is a boss for one of the teams at PwC in charge of IT. And we also FaceTimed one of the youngest members at PwC and who worked in Emily's group. She was like working with IT, and they were talking about like what you got to do to basically get people to want to change, going from Google to Microsoft.
Yeah.
But we got to learn about like hardware, software. We got to learn about IT, and I'm pretty sure I'm missing something.
Did you mean like at the end when we looked at the cameras? Did you mention
Oh,
that?
yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
In the end of the day, we went to the studio at PwC here in Stockholm, Sweden. It was so fun because earlier that day they had made a live spelning, and we got to learn about how they do. And also, best part, we got to look at cameras. We got to control the cameras of computers, and we got to see how they did, and that was really fun.
Do you agree that the studio was the most fun part of that day?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. And you got to see their big field camera as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to
Yeah.
move around, and we got learn how to focus.
Cameras are really, really cool. And you got to look a little bit at the mix board as well, heavy duty equipment. So that kind of concludes PwC. If you think about making an app or working on your own company, or PwC where you kind of met many different people working with many different things in many different roles. If you had to kind of choose one for yourself, what do you think that you could be doing? Is it the studio? Does the studio win?
Yeah.
The studio wins?
Really? I thought for you, I think it would be the game studio, the game.
We haven't gotten to the game yet.
Oh,
yeah, I'm just
right.
thinking about these three right now.
The studio.
The studio. Okay.
The studio, or being like Emily, leading
Yeah.
a team. I wanna be a leader.
Yeah. Cool. So we've done a little switcheroo. Here at Hyperight's office, Goran has this little podcast studio, and we're allowing the girls to try both being in the podcast and also being behind the little soundboard or mixboard or whatever that's called.
Bubba was here before, and now I'm here.
Yes.
Haha. I'm so happy. This is so
Good.
cool. The buttons. I wanna press all of them.
Please don't. So continuing for the rest of the PRAO week, I'm going to be looking mostly at you now
Yes.
because you're sitting in front of me. But yeah, Vilma, do you want to start talking a little bit more about Roro and your Thursday?
We tried the game. We wrote ideas, things to add, and first impressions, stuff like that. Or
And so Roro is a company that's in the stages of developing a game for girls specifically, or just for
no,
kids?
just in general.
Just in general. Do you know what the game's about?
Yeah, you decorate rooms, basically.
Fun. Do you have anything you'd like to add on what Roro is and does?
Roro is a game production company. We got to learn how they actually design characters, because each character in every game have their own personalities, and we got to learn how they are and how they set up the personalities. So what we did is that we got a mood board, and they first he wanted us to write down some character tropes. For us it was okay, maybe alternative, extroverted, likes Hello Kitty.
That's a character trait?
Yeah, Monster Energy
Okay,
addict.
okay.
So yeah. So what we did is that that, we also had, and like in the boxes, we had somewhere that said like character, interior, exterior, and the character we had searched like outfits, makeup, shoes, and things to like describe how this character would be. And interior, because in the person's room, you get to know if you're introverted, extroverted, what they like, what they don't like, what they are addicted to. So we found pictures, like, also the style we got was like Kuromi style.
Which I don't know what that is.
Yeah,
so.
I don't think it's like a actual, or like if you search for it, it'll come up.
So the person seemed to be a bit of a hoarder when it came to stuffed animals, and we searched for pictures of Monster Energy. But what do you want to talk? Do you want to tell about the exterior?
Yeah, we just did like the streets of Tokyo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just like how like the neighborhood that they lived in would
okay,
look
okay.
like, basically.
Yeah, because it was like mainly blue, pink, purple,
Okay.
and it was like modern, veggie. This is the character, because all of these like the guy who told us like, okay, because from all these pictures you can get like how the character's personality is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I always said
that
that.
was called a mood board, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. From what you've understood, have any of you played Sims?
I have, yeah.
Yeah.
And
bit.
A bit, yeah. How is this like similar or like different to Sims in a sense?
It's pretty similar to The Sims, like in the decorating room part, but
Right.
you can't like control characters. So
You can control.
you can't.
You
no.
cannot.
But you
Okay.
can place characters.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
fun. My notes over here says talk to people. Can you
Like
talk
the
to-
meeting,
What was that about?
like in the very beginning, we had a meeting with all the members.
Okay. And what happened there?
They told us what they like did. If they were like if they were like a 3D artist or something.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they also said what they were currently working on, like fixing a glitch or something.
Okay. That wraps up Thursday, and then here we are today on Friday, and we've done a little wrap up for this whole week and what you've thought. We already planned a little for this podcast, wrote down some questions. You had your individual projects with for your school to like tell them about what you did. Then Dimitro came from CodeEasy. Didn't we talk about CodeEasy when I had my video call with you a couple of months ago?
Yeah, I think we
Yeah.
did, yeah.
So now he's going to be able to give you this
Ooh.
promo code and kind of tell you more about, I mean, like help you work with coding and stuff like that. Does that sound, are we interested? Are we excited about that?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
And what did you think about CodeEasy and Dimitro?
I want to try CodeEasy.
Yeah? Fun.
Yeah.
So if we now look at the whole week, is there anything that you were just like, this was really fun and like I would love to know more about this and this was really interesting?
I
Playing,
want.
oh, sorry.
Sorry, no, you go first. You go first.
Yeah, playing the game, the Hello Home.
Playing the Hello Home at Roro.
I think like I want to learn also more about Roro and like the game development, but also PWC was so fun.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult even from Girls at Tech Nordics perspective to create this PRAO week and work with these companies, and that's something that we've taken with us and we're trying to work on. That all these cool companies who are doing lots of tech things, sometimes it's really difficult for them to be just like, yeah, sure, I can have an entire week where I can have a kid here and I can talk about these things, and that's not possible because sometimes it is very high level, and sometimes, like Tina was also saying, like I sit and work at my laptop all day. That's not very interesting for someone to just sit at my side and it's like, what you doing now? And some things just are more applicable or like easier to understand. So it's kind of that like weighing that Girls at Tech Nordics needs to do, and like other big companies also need to do in order to understand where we can sort of work together and find better things as PRAO for girls. You agree? Yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
I want to join like to do like a event or something
Yeah.
for Girls in Tech.
And we're back. We're not live, thank God.
Thank God.
We
Yeah.
are on video, so that's fun.
I'm scared. Hello, camera.
But so now we've sort of wrapped up like about the week, what you guys got to do at your PRAO, and what you thought was most fun and interesting. And now I think I'd like to just talk a little bit more about Girls at Tech. So just to mention it quickly then, Girls at Tech Nordics is this organization here in Stockholm, Gothenburg, and starting up in Malmö. It's in Oslo, and it's in 2 places in Finland that I'm not going to pronounce because I can't do it. And I'm not even going to attempt to do it. It started up in 2017 with these events for girls to get them inspired and motivated in different areas of tech. There would be workshops, there would be kind of discussions and talks by women working with tech in order to like get more girls interested and want to continue with tech in their future studies in gymnasiet and university. So that's a quick recap of Girls at Tech Nordics. And then to kind of further the reach of it, we also started working with PRAO, since Girls at Tech Nordics consists of voluntary workers from different big companies in tech. We thought that it would be easy to kind of get them engaged working with PRAO, which is mandatory work-life experience in English, sort of loosely translated. And that's what you guys have been doing this week at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different companies? 6, if you count Hyperight. So 6 different companies, right? That's the PRAO aspect of it. And then what we also kind of want with Girls at Tech Nordics is to get it a little bit like self-sustaining, with a community by girls, for girls that like technology and want to like discuss it and work more with it and stuff like that. That's Girls at Tech Nordics. First of all, Vilma, what do you think of Girls at Tech Nordics?
I mean, I thought the PRAO was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it taught me a lot about tech.
Was it even more fun that you were with me?
Yes, of course.
Oh, really? Like, actually?
It
Yes.
added.
It added. That's
Yeah.
sweet. That's sweet. Happy dance.
Yeah.
What do you think of Girls at Tech Nordics? Because you've both been to at least one event before, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how we got contact with Girls in Tech in the beginning.
Yeah.
And I think that Girls in Tech is something that is very important. And I think that it's something that it should be more popularized. It should be more out there, because tech is something that's going to be everywhere in the near future. It's already basically everywhere. It's in your phone. Like, you can't do the stuff about your tech because you need your bank ID. You need you have your banks and stuff on your phone.
Yeah.
You have your money on your phone. So it's like, I mean, on your card, phone. But the thing is that tech, like the technological field, has been a very male-dominated field for so long. And it's important that women come in, but you mainly learn about women who are already working in it, who are already a part of it. But what about us, young girls who aren't as aware of tech but think it's interesting, or who are extremely aware and like their hyperfixation is like tech, and they can't stop like picking apart their tech, like their electronics and stuff. But like, it's a really male-dominated field, and I think that it's only right if other people get a chance to also do the work.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because throughout in history, males, or well, specifically white males, have been in charge of everything, almost everything, scientific, mathematical, and technological. So I can't really speak. My braces are very annoying today. But like, I think that I want females, especially young girls like me, to get into Girls in Tech. So I think it's really important. But also, it's a common belief that, well, males are more equipped for it, but then you have females. Like, I think that someone who maybe, and not internet, but someone who did something, that was a female first.
The very first programmer, for instance, was a woman. I think her name was Ada Lovelace, and that was just drawing code, and not code as Dimitri showed you today, but like ones and zeros, basically. She would write that by hand, and that became the first computer. I know that you maybe you guys don't drink coffee or like brewed coffee or anything like that, but you know coffee filters, like those brown or white ones.
I love those.
They're called Melitta filter here in Sweden, and that's because it was a woman named Melitta who made them. Yeah. That's a woman named Melitta who made them.
Yeah, take that, you toxic alpha males, because you drink your coffee acting all buff and cool. Yeah, you know who made the coffee, the brew coffee? Melitta.
Melitta.
Älskar Melitta. Tack för kaffet.
Stuff like that. Everyday appliances are kind of like results of women finding solutions for problems. And there are multiple examples of things like this that originated or were created by women, not necessarily only for women, but by women. So having more women contribute to the fields of technology only benefits technology. Just having role models then is also really important for girls to understand that they can take place. There is space for them, basically. Girls at Tech Nordics then wants to have this sort of community, And what we've sort of put up already is a Discord channel. If you were to think of a community for girls, what do you think that you would need to have there? Or what do you think that you would want to see there? Leia has, for instance, talked about helping create events and stuff like that. Is that something you would also be interested in contributing to, for instance?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So what Girls at Tech Nordics has tried to do previously is sort of center the events around a theme. In 2023, we were at Tekniska Museet with a few different companies. One of them was Star Stable that Ulrika has also talked a little bit about today. And that is another gaming company for girls, and they have a horse stable. I don't know exactly. I've never played it myself. I'm not a horse girl. So that was for games, for instance, and then we did the one you were at. That was like the future of tech. So you got to see I remember specifically you got to see this food, what food could look like. We've had a different one that was food tech. We've had one that is fashion tech, and you can think about the previous ones. But is there a specific theme you'd be interested in seeing in that case?
No, I don't think so.
No, you don't think so?
I don't know.
I mean, you're obviously having fun behind the scenes here and pressing all the buttons for the sound equipment, and you like being in the studio. Do you think that could be of interest, more audio or video sort of theme?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
For my cameras. And also what I'm almost doing right now because that's fun.
Yeah? So we could maybe see if Mons would let us back into the PVC studio and you can sit and play there a little bit. Do you have any other themes that you'd be interested in seeing, perhaps?
I mean, maybe we'd already have coding programming,
Mm-hmm.
but fashion tech is obviously, but cameras, studios, and maybe a bit you talked about, what was it, astrophysics?
Astronomy.
Astronomy,
Yeah.
yes. What is it? Astrophysics, sorry.
That's a whole different thing.
I don't know. But also something that's making telescopes and making satellites. Things that's just very interesting in my opinion.
Yeah.
But also how computers mainly work, IT, hardware, software. Ooh, especially software.
Scribbling down. Hardware. Because I can't spell. I'm thinking.
Hardware.
Hardware. Hardware. Hard.
Handsome Squidward.
Yes. No. Soft. You've been working or looking at software a lot this week with apps and stuff like that. That's and coding. Hardware is more this is definitely hardware. Looking with all the little knobs and buttons and dials and stuff.
I love that sound.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's a lot of vowels coming out of her right now.
But what was I gonna say? I swear it was good.
Hardware, knobs, dials.
Yes, but basically just how to work a studio. But it was something more. It was very interesting. I can't remember what it was.
If it's important, it'll come back to you.
It most likely won't.
Okay. That's what Girls at Tech Nordics wants to do. Knowing what you know now, having been part of both an event and PRAO, and Dimitri's going to help you with coding, so in a sense, a little bit of the mentor aspect in that as well. Can you see anything that Girls in Tech Nordics should be doing more of, or should be doing better?
I think Girls in Tech is doing I don't know. I think they're doing everything right. I don't.
Thank you. This is not sponsored. I'm really glad to hear that. I'm very glad that you say that.
Actually.
Okay.
I was thinking they could go to schools. For example, my school, they could putting up flyers a bit down there. Being more social, more on social media, because just have an account on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. I almost forgot about TikTok. And I guess Facebook for parents. Just post. Maybe you could if you have more PRAO and stuff, post the kids having a good time, and the importance of letting girls into tech and how male-dominated fields should be more open. No, we definitely need men, but it's I want more females to be okay with like taking a risk and jumping into this hardcore advanced field program. Because I think that like, because you know, the first coding, as you just said,
Ada Lovelace.
for example, she was the first one, and now it's a male-dominated field. But she made it.
Yeah.
So that's like a bit wrong.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say that coming to schools, I just wanted to say that Girls in Tech Nordics is actually working on a project that sort of does that. We're calling it FemHub. It's basically a place where women who work with tech can create a profile and say that I work with what could it be, IoT integration, or like I work with blockchain. I work with VR and stuff like that. We love blockchain after this week. So working with different kinds of tech, or like working in a specific company. And then teachers, for instance, if they have like a module they're doing on a specific topic, if they're thinking about like future jobs or like the job market, like understanding a specific topic within tech, they can go on to FemHub. So the teachers can find women who work with specific things in tech, and then like have a kind of like avstämning with them, like my kids are going to do a module on AI. Can you please come to my class and explain AI? So we're already trying to do that, where women working with tech come to school to talk about it. When Girls at Tech Nordics has visited schools, again, like I don't work with tech, so I can only just come and be like, kids, you should go to an event. It's a little unnecessary for me to actually show up in person to say, come to an event. It's easier for me to sort of like email teachers and hand out flyers. And I understand that then it doesn't seem like we have a big presence, but we do have pretty good contact with lots of teachers, and email them and like invite them to things and like tell them about like PRAO or like different activities that Girls at Tech Nordics does.
Also, if you want to take like one step further, then you actually do have to take one step further.
For sure. That is true. That is a very good point.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say for social media also, yes, posting is perhaps a little bleak. I am not the best social media person generally. We do have ideas for social media that is like finding cool historical women who have worked with tech, like Melita, like Ada Lovelace, Marie Curie, the woman with radioactivity. Yeah,
she was so cool.
She was really, really cool. And looking at women like Sakina works with tech, and maybe posting about women in current day tech fields and stuff. We're talking about mentors, stuff like that. We have ideas for these things. We're few people working with a lot of things, and then it just takes a little time to get stuff done. But we are on Instagram, we are on TikTok, we are on LinkedIn. Those are the three main ones. Facebook is not really applicable. So LinkedIn is for the adults and for the teachers and parents.
You could also talk about like game development stuff, and you could like invite women who are like kind of high positions, because that's very interesting. And it's like, oh wait, if they have these high positions, then maybe I have what it takes to become a CEO.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh wait, so this woman is a woman. She's sort of like me. She's the CEO of a company. Oh.
I think that sort of concludes the week. It concludes what we've done. It concludes the PRAO. And I thank you for being here and for having this little talk with me, this long talk actually. And now I have a few things to take with me for Girls at Tech Nordics. And I hope that this week has brought lots of good things for you as well that you can take with you. Thank you both. And yeah.
Thank you so much.
It's going to be